right here, you can see this is a kid that left school at 16, didn't take one exam.
So as you know, the 488 was my first Ferrari. I bought it in 24 hours, was a crazy deal at that time.
Started in the industry as a hairdresser at the age of 16 with Vidal Sassoons. The new car for Brenda, the Ferrari 296 GTS, is probably going to take 2 years. I think my favourite event with Fast Lane Drive.
Don't touch my wing.
Exactly.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching today. I'm with my dear friend Andrew Dell, founder of Unite. He's a member of Fastlane for about 2.5 to 3 years right now. He's one of my great friends and I'm really happy to introduce his company, himself, and why he joined Fastlane. So Andrew, can you introduce yourself today?
Yeah, absolutely. Name's Andrew Dale and CEO and founder of Unite and Go 24/7, a couple of hair care lines. And obviously one of my most enjoyable things to do when I'm not working is Fast Lane Drive.
Can you tell us about your life story? I know you are from England and I would like to know a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. Started in the industry as a hairdresser at the age of 16 with Vidal Sassoons. And then I'll give you the short story. Vidal Sassoons asked me to come to America at the age of 21 and moved to Los Angeles, worked in Beverly Hills on Rodeo Drive. And then opened my first salon in LA and then went on to open 4 more. And then 20 years ago started Unite. Started it out of my garage with a couple of really good friends of mine, Jared Trombetta and Nikki Newbath. And yeah, here we are today. And finally, you know, when I was younger, never had any money, obviously, becoming a hairdresser at the age of 16, working as hard as I could, saved up all my tips and worked hard and eventually got to what I love and my passion, which is cars. Hence why, you know, joining Fast Lane Drive was fantastic for me. You know, meeting like-minded people who love cars, passionate for cars, and have the same interest, which for me was absolutely fantastic. One of the best organisations I've joined. Not just saying that because Clem's standing here, it really is. And Brenda and I have made some of our best friends through Fast Lane Drive, which is amazing.
You hear about Fastlane and why did you join?
Brenda and I kept seeing on social media all of these amazing events. You know, Fast Lane Drive have gone here and all of these beautiful cars and these great looking people. And we thought, hold on a minute, why aren't we part of that organisation? So we researched it and I asked the guys at Ferrari of San Diego, I asked the guys at O'Gara in San Diego where we buy our cars. And I said, hey, what's this Fast Lane Drive? And they said, oh, it's an amazing organisation. You know, the guy that started it, Clem, is fantastic, knows all about cars and wants to put great people together. And I said, I'm going to reach out. So I reached out and I basically said, hey, you know, my wife and I would love to join your organisation. And what I loved about the organisation was we had to go through an interview process. And the interview process wasn't just like, oh, who are you? What do you do? It was like, no, your passion for cars, what you do for a living, you know, what are your hobbies, all of these things. And, you know, when I joined Soho House 15 years ago, it was a similar situation. And not to sound snobby, but the right people get in. And that's through the interview process, which was brilliant. So I was very impressed with that. And fortunately, we were selected. So we joined and we became part of Fast Lane Drive, which is brilliant. Since then, we've been to Arizona, to Scottsdale, to Fast Lane Drive, which is amazing because we've met some brilliant people there. And Brenda and I have bought a house in Scottsdale. So we're actually going to spend 6 months of the year there and 6 months here. And it's purely because of Fast Lane Drive and the great people out there. So we're a member of the San Diego chapter and a member of the Scottsdale chapter as well.
Thank you, that's really, I would like to know what's the difference you think between Fastlane San Diego and Fastlane Scottsdale?
That's an interesting question. The difference between Fastlane San Diego and Fastlane Arizona or Scottsdale, they're very, very similar because I think the people that you vet to get into the organisation have a similar outlook on what they love. Passion for cars, they're all very successful in what they do in business and love interacting with people like that. So I think they're very, very similar, which is fantastic, and that's why we love it so much. I think if we went to Los Angeles or we went to Miami, wherever you open a Fast Lane Drive, the people are going to be very, very similar and, you know, just great to hang out with.
So a few questions. I know you have a passion for cars.
Yes.
Why did you choose all those V12? So I see 4 of them. Some are mid-engine, some are front-engine.
Yes.
So what's the difference and why the choice of all those cars?
Why did I pick the cars that I have in my collection right now? And I think that what I wanted to do is I wanted to end up with as many V12 engines as I could before they go away. So as we can see over here, we've got the 812 Superfast Ferrari. which is the V12 800 brake horsepower, which is beautiful. Then we have the Aston Martin DBS Superleggero, which is again front engine V12, one of the last that they'll make. And then we go on to the V12 or W12 Bentley Speed, which again will be the last one that they make in that as well. And then behind us we've got the Super Veloce, the Aventador, which is a rear engine V12, but one of my favourites to drive because it's raw. It's an absolutely raw V12 to drive. You really feel alive when you're driving that, because if you're not, you're going to be in trouble. But that's lovely. And I love the way it's been wrapped in camo. Somebody said to me, why did you wrap it in camo? And I said, why not, you know? And I think it looks great.
What color is your Lamborghini, you know?
It's actually black underneath that. I love working with Enrico at Modern Image. I think not only does he have a fantastic eye when it comes to creativity with wrapping the cars, but he does such a great job as well. When you look at the way that the Lamborghini's been wrapped in camo, every single seam is perfect, which is great. Brenda's 488 GTB, he wrapped this as well, and the way he wrapped it was fantastic. The whole thing is Vorsteiner, carbon fibre, wheels, carbon fibre accessories everywhere, and then Enrico wrapped that. So pretty much every one of the cars that you see here, you know, Enrico's done something too. Behind you, Clem, is one of my favourites that I just got. It's the Shelby GT500. When I told Enrico I was getting it, I said, you know, the one thing I don't like about it is all of the black plastic that's on it. What we decided to do is not wrap, but we took all of the black plastic pieces off, and they're all solid carbon fibre right now. And again, Modern Image helped me put that together. The car will be going to Carroll Shelby in Las Vegas in April, and they're going to turn it into a Road King, put the brake horsepower up to 900 and do racing suspension on it, which will be brilliant for the track. I keep my track car down at Apex, down in Arizona. I have a Super Trofeo Evo 2 down there that I use around the track, and the Shelby will be part of those track cars that go down there. My little collection here that I have, which is enjoyable. There's others that I have in my mind that I would like in the future as well. But yeah, this is great for me. Coming from, you know, a kid of 16 who started as a hairdresser, who really didn't have any money at all, to be able to build up to this, which is great. I think, you know, you put your mind to something, the human mind is quite amazing. And if you put your mind to something, you can make it happen.
So that's really good. So I know you have some cars coming. What are the next car that you're waiting for?
It's the couple of the next cars that I've got coming, an STO, Lamborghini on order. I had one, but I sold it because I knew I've got another one coming. That's going to be in army green, which will be great. SF90 Ferrari. In the same spec as my coupe that I had, and that's going to be the Spider. Then we've got an Urus Puffamonte on order, and that's going to be black with gold accents, which will be quite fun. And then the new Aventador has been released, and I think Brenda and I will be on our way to Italy in September of next year to build that. So that will be quite fun as well. Great cars. The thing is, they're taking so long to build. Some of those cars are 2 to 2.5 years out. The new car for Brenda, the Ferrari 296 GTS, is probably going to take 2 years. So with these things now, it's interesting. And I know you and I love cars and have a passion for them so much. It's like, well, I see a car and I want it now, but we have to wait, which is patience is a virtue.
So we all have a dream for cars. My dream car is a Chiron. I'm working every day for that. What is your dream car, the ultimate car? Yeah,
dream car. I think, wow, dream car. The funny thing is, I love looking at old cars, like an old Ferrari, you know, GT250 or a GTO. I love looking at them, but I don't like driving them. So I think that the new cars, I think the Bugatti Chiron is absolutely beautiful. One of my dream cars actually is one that I have on order, which is probably going to take 2 years before I get it. It's the Aston Martin Valhalla. As soon as I saw the Valhalla, I think about 3 years ago when they released prototype model of it at Pebble Beach when we were there, I said to Brenda, this car is just amazing. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to get on the list, but it will take about 2 years. But when I get that, I think that, for me, will be one of my ultimate. And the other ultimate was having a track car. That was exciting too. I love driving on the track. I'm not very good at it, but I do love driving on the track, which is great. And getting my Super Trofeo Evo 2, which is the track version of the STO Lamborghini, has been phenomenal for me to drive on the track. And I can't wait to get back down into to Arizona to start getting back in that and back on the track and driving it. So really, a lot of my dreams have sort of come true. Still got a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. We're all there.
Yeah.
So if you look at all your cars, and I will ask the hard question, if you have to keep one.
You know what? If I had to keep one of my cars, and this question has been asked to me before, if I could only have one car, it would be the Bentley. It's got the speed, the horsepower, the torque. It's comfortable. I think it's a sexy looking car, and it's British.
Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, so
I
anyway,
agree.
hey, listen, I love the Italian cars, don't get me wrong, but some of the British cars are pretty cool as well.
Unite is doing fantastic right now. It's growing and growing. It's one of the partners for Fastlane.
Yes.
It's amazing because all the guys right now, they tell me, we try and now we buy a lot. So
Yeah.
it's something that I absolutely love. What's the long-term vision for the company and what's your inspiration to grow this company?
Yeah, so Unite has been in existence for 20 years now. And, you know, what is our passion? You know, where are we going? When I first started this company, I wanted to create the best hair care with quality, integrity, brilliant ingredients, so clients can just really feel comfortable and they can feel, you know, as though when they pick up a Unite product, they know it's going to work, they know it's going to perform, and it's going to be the best product that they can use on their hair. And I wanted that to be, you know, not only nationally, but internationally as well, which we've started to grow outside of America as well. The journey is far from over. We have a long way to go. We look at new products with new ingredients to bring out. We look at, you know, the quality of what we're doing. It has to stay consistent all the time. And then basically having the passion that I have from being a hairdresser to now creating a brand consumers can use and love and enjoy. That's still going to be it. It's going to be pushing forward to come out with new innovative products, really work, easy for clients to use, and the quality is always going to be there. And we've got, you know, quite a few years to grow. So we're still going to keep that going. I think even 10 years from now, you know, if you look back on what we've done, you can look at Unite and say they've always kept their integrity. You know, they've always had the quality of the product. We literally take 6 months minimum of trial and error before we release a product. Sometimes we've taken over a year to make sure that that product is exactly what it should be when it goes to market. We see a lot of companies bring out new products and then they pull them back very quickly. It's because it hasn't had that testing that we give to the products. One of the biggest things that I always want people to think about when they think of our brand, Unite or Go 24/7, the one word that always comes to mind is integrity. And we always want to have that integrity.
Let's imagine I'm a young entrepreneur right now. I want to create something similar than Unite.
Yeah.
What advice will you give me?
The advice that I would give to a young entrepreneur or somebody who's starting a brand of their own is don't ever give up. You're going to have a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that turn around to you and say, oh, it's never going to happen. You'll never make that work. Like myself, when I first said I'm going to start, you know, a product company, I'm going to start a brand Unite, I had so many people say to me, oh, you're crazy, it's never going to work. I mean, you know, why even try, why even do it? And you know, that just made me want to do it more and more. Any of you young entrepreneurs out there, anybody starting a brand, don't ever give up. I mean, as long as you've got a focus on where you want this brand to go, and when I keep saying integrity, keep that integrity there. Don't sway from that path. If you're going on one direction to create your brand, go on that direction, keep going on that direction, and don't let anybody sway you from where you want to end up. Because you know what? Like I said earlier, the human mind is an incredible thing. And if you put your mind to something, you can make it happen. I mean, right here, you can see, this is a kid that left school at 16, didn't take one exam. Sounds a little bit funny now, me saying that, but it's the absolute truth. And we've built this company. And I think one of the other things that's very important as an entrepreneur is to create a team around you that believes in exactly what you're doing. Having the passion and the process you have with your brand, surrounding yourself with those people is very, very important. Because yes, there's always, you know, one figurehead at the front of a company, but trust me, that figurehead has a team behind him that's supporting him and holding him up and taking him to that level where he needs to get to.
I'm a little in the same situation. So now we have 5 locations with Fastlane. We have San Diego, Los Angeles, Scottsdale, Las Vegas, we're opening Miami. And every time we're opening a new chapter, every people are calling us, finding us online. They're like, it's never going to work. You have so much competition over there. I'm like, I do not have competition. We are something completely different. We are a social club based on cars. So we are not a car club. We are not a cars and coffee. We don't really care and we don't really see about the competition because we're offering something better and different than any club, we will say, in the country. And we see it. If you have good marketing, good presence, and good humility of everything you are doing, you will grow. We're already on first page of Google in Miami. We already have 15 members in Miami. So this way, if you put passion into it and you believe in your product, automatically.
The one thing that I loved about Fastlane Drive, and I've always said this about a brand. Brand is just a brand without a culture. A brand with a culture is something that has longevity. And the great thing about Fastlane Drive is it has a culture. And that culture is what will drive Fastlane to the next level. And that's why I love it. And that's why it's fantastic. Hats off to you, Clem, for what you've done with Fastlane Drive, with creating the brand and the culture all in one. And I think you can open this up all over. You know, a lot of people will try and copy you like they've tried to copy us. I take that as a compliment. Yeah. But nobody can deliver it like I do, and nobody can deliver Fastlane Drive like you do. So that's why it's always going to be successful.
What was your favorite event with Fastlane so far?
I think my favorite event with Fastlane Drive, and this may sound a bit corny, but it was the Christmas party.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody from chapters all around Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Scottsdale, they all came in for the Christmas party here in San Diego. And we met so many great people. All it did was make us want to go to those different cities and have fun with those guys on a Fastlane Drive event. But I think the Christmas party was amazing. It was fantastic, put together extremely well. Gotta say, every event's been great. There's not one event that I would say, oh, I wish I didn't go to that. Every event has been so glad I went to that event. I think there's so many interesting people with really fascinating backgrounds in Fastlane Drive. I would like to learn more about those guys as well. So maybe doing something like this with a few more members could be great.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to start. We're going to do 1 or 2 videos a week right now. I'm really excited. And we have so many different personalities, so many different stories. Be sure to subscribe on Fastlane and our channel because this year we're going to have a lot of new content. The next video going to be actually in Scottsdale. We're going to do with Charlie, who has a huge collection of motorcycles.
And Charlie has a car as me at the track. Yeah, he has a Super Trofeo Evo too.
That's going to be good. We're going to do with a Smash Tech brother on Tuesday. We're going to do with Eric. We're going to do with Mike Soldani. So no, we are really excited about what's coming. To go back a little this time to the car. So what was your dream car when you grow up, and what poster did you have in your bedroom? So it's funny because I had a poster in my bedroom that had nothing to do with the car I like today.
I think I didn't actually have too many, but I think it was probably the Lamborghini Countach, which all young kids had on a poster on their wall, which was pretty cool. And I think just loving all of those cars back then was really important for me. Obviously loving musicians and seeing what musicians, had. Some of the best car collections in the world, as we know, Ralph Lauren and people like that. Charlie Watts, the drummer of the Rolling Stones, was a mad fan of beautiful old classic cars. And he had some absolutely gorgeous cars. And if you watch the documentary on them, he shows a couple of them. Fascinating thing about Charlie Watts, because I loved it knowing that he had the cars, he couldn't drive.
Yep.
Yeah, he couldn't drive. Never took his driver's license and couldn't drive. But just going back to cars, just seeing people that had beautiful collections like that, I always admired it.
Yeah, for example, if you look Jamiroquai from England, this guy fascinated me as a kid because his collection of Ferrari is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
He has a one-on-one LaFerrari green. I mean, it's all those artists. I agree.
Yeah,
it's good to follow
JK
them.
from Jamiroquai is one of my favourites too. I always remember the story about him and this car, the Lamborghini Aventador Super Veloce, that he wrapped around a lamppost. But he has an amazing car collection. Years ago, Brenda and I were over in London at a car festival, and he had about 5 of his cars on show at the collection. Beautiful. JK's, Jamiroquai is one of my favourite bands as well. I think he's brilliant. Yeah, I think he's great. We'll start with the 812 Superfast over here. This has actually got all Novatec on it. So we've got Novatec carbon fibre all the way through it, on the hood, the front spoilers, the rear spoilers. We've got Novatec suspension, and we've got a Novatec exhaust on this. It sounds like a Formula One car. I've got new wheels coming for it. These are the Novatec wheels that I'm not crazy about, so I've got some new wheels that I've got coming that are going to go on that. But this thing here is amazing. It's got the racing seats in it in carbon fibre, and it's just a beautiful car to drive. The other nice thing about this car is it's got a lot of storage in the trunk, and I think next year Brenda and I will be driving that up to Monterey for Car Week because there is so much luggage storage in the back.
And I'm going to rebound on this one a little because I have the F12.
Yes.
And it's the F12 I bought for one reason. It was from Jeremy Clarkson. Pretty much he said the FF at that time is a car you live in and the F12 is a car you die in. But what it's good is every time I drive it, I have a feeling that anything can happen.
Yes.
And I think they restored that a little on the 812 where it's really fast. Obviously it's a name, but at the same time it's a little more controllable.
Yes.
But what is amazing with that car, you can take it to a track, it's going to be a monster. But if you take it to a road trip, you can put your luggage, drive on rain mode, have no issue, and you can cruise. And it's actually a really good cruiser. So
absolutely.
It's really interesting how they build this car to be a monster and in the same time being one of the most comfortable cars.
It's a Jekyll and Hyde for sure, it really is.
Yeah.
The first time I ever drove an 812 was on the track at Thermal. So I never drove it on the road first, I just took it straight onto the track, and it was absolutely brilliant on the track. For a front engine V12 around the track, it was amazing. But like Clem says, I mean, to drive this every day or on a long road trip is brilliant as well. Aston Martin DBS Superleggero. Obviously, we've had a lot of carbon fibre put on this. We've wrapped it. Enrico at Modern Image wrapped it. We did a clear satin over the white. We put the blue stripes through it. If you can take a look at the wheels, we've got Brixton wheels, carbon fibre rim on the outside. Beautiful rims there, which was nice. And one thing that was quite fun, if you have a look at the Superleggero here, the actual writing of the Superleggero, right behind it, we've put a blue sort of shading behind it. So it's really cool. This is a great fun car to drive. Car that's got the V12, got a lot of horsepower, but you can drive it daily without a problem at all. Knowing that this was going to be the last W12, V12 Bentley was making, we spec'd this one. The colour is Monaco yellow with obviously a black package, blacking everything out on it, and with a ton of carbon fibre on it as well. If you can see the inside through the windscreen there, it's a special delivery that we did on the inside too. We put the yellow leather striping around the outside with the crisscross diamond stitching, and then Alcantara in the middle as well too. But this again will be the last V12 that they make in a speed. And again, if I had to have one car and one car only, it would be this here. An absolutely beautiful car to drive, sporty, sexy, but comfortable as well. And again, Brenda and I have taken these on long trips too, which have been fantastic. GTB Ferrari came as a shiny black. Again, Enrico at Modern Image, we wrapped it, we put a clear satin over it with the yellow stripes, and he did the pinstriping on it as well. And then we had all of the Vorsteiner carbon fibre with Vorsteiner wheels put on it. We thought Vorsteiner did the best kit for the 488 GTB. We looked at all of the other kits that were out there, and Vorsteiner just did it really well. It almost made it look a little bit like a Pista without it being a Pista, dare I say that. Brenda doesn't need the Pista, sort of a race car. This one is absolutely perfect for her. But yeah, the carbon fibre on the splitter on the front, the spoiler, carbon fibre on the side skirts, wing mirrors, even the gas cat, and the whole inside of the engine bay is completely carbon fibre too, with this beautiful wing that Vorsteiner did as well, and the Vorsteiner wheels, which I think are fantastic. So this car really turned out well, and we'll never sell this because it's Brenda's baby and she loves it.
So as you know, the 488 was my first Ferrari. I bought it in 24 hours. It was a crazy deal at that time. Someone wanted to sell it in 24 hours. I arrived, bought it with the help of Ferrari of San Diego. It's how I started to build my relationship with it. It's comfortable, has a huge trunk when you go on a road trip.
Yeah, it does.
It's sporty when you drive it fast. Exhaust note is actually good. I had an exhaust on it that was pretty interesting. And it looks good. It's super discreet, but in the same time, you know that it's a Ferrari. I love the 296. I ordered it too, but I'm not as excited as this one or the F8 when I look at it, because I think that it's a little too plain for me. So it's really interesting how they really scored on that car, and the small upgrade they did after the 458 is really a huge change.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I'd buy cars because of the aesthetics, the way that they look. And you know, people say to me, why did you buy a DPS Superleggero? Those things are going to lose their value, they're going to lose money. It's like buying art. You buy art because you love it. The DBS for me, the shape is so sexy. It's such a beautiful car. I said, I don't really care if it loses money. It's going to be great. This car here for Brenda, when she first saw it, when we were looking for cars for her, she had a Porsche GTS before, and then she had a Jag F8. And you know, we went and had a look at this, and she's like, wow, this is just a beautiful, sexy car. This would be perfect. And like you said, you can drive it in regular mode, which is not a problem. You put it into track mode or race mode, and it's fantastic. We had the guys at Ferrari San Diego open the baffles, so the baffles are open all the time. The sound is brilliant on it. It's not outrageous like the 812 or the Mustang, but the sound is beautiful on this as well. But you're right. I think this car, the shape of it, the compactness of it, this is Brenda's, you know, sort of princess car.
So now we have the SV. Why the SV and why not the SVG? Why not the S? And why that one in particular?
Well, the thing I love about the SV is that it's a raw, very raw car. And out of all of the Lamborghinis that they brought out, this is the V12. It's single clutch, not dual clutch. It's absolutely raw. The power is fantastic. It's literally like you're driving an engine. And that sounds funny, but when you do drive one of these, it's really like a full engine. SVJ is beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's gorgeous to look at. This is a bit rawer, a bit more real when it comes to, like, you know, getting into it and driving it. Got to know how to drive it because they're pretty hard to drive. You know, not really a car you'd take around the track too much, especially with a single clutch. You get kicked in the back like a donkey's kicking you when you change gear on these things. But it's just such a great looking car. Before it was black, satin black. We changed it over at Modern Image. We did the beautiful camo wrap on this, which I think is fantastic. The whole inside is very interesting too. All the doors inside are carbon fibre. So it's a carbon fibre tub and everything in there as well. So if you look at the actual doors here, they're all carbon fibre. All of the matte carbon fibre we have on the outside, which is brilliant. An amazing looking car.
Do you have an exhaust on it?
It does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, which I have a little button inside that I press and it sort of lights up and goes a bit crazy, which is really cool. When you look at the back of a car like this, if you're sitting, you know, behind this car, you know this is going to take off pretty quickly. So, yeah.
Don't touch my wing.
Exactly.
So Del, thank you for your amazing time today. Do you want to add something?
No, just, you know, if anybody out there has got a passion for cars like we have, Fast Lane Drive, join.
Thank you for watching today. Thank you for this amazing time. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have a lot of new content. We're getting 2, 3, 4 videos a week right now. Thank you so much, and thank you, my dear friend.
Okay.